How we doing? Hey guys, hope you're great. Round two, here we go. If you're reading this, or excuse me, if you're watching this, if you've not already finished your first DBQ and that essay, that writing portion of that, please go ahead and do that. If you have, again, like I said with the first one, go ahead and get the DBQ. If you don't have it yet, go ahead and get it and pause this video. And if you do have it, go ahead and pause this video and flip through it. What this DBQ is sort of a step up. The one that you did in your last class was, like I said, a little bit more elementary, a much better first one. Documents were a little bit easier, and like I said, it asked questions after each one. The one you're about to do right now is legitimately from an actual AP World History exam. It is actually a DBQ, so it is a lot harder. I get that, right? And so again, I know you're tempted to throw in the flag, throw the flag at me, raise the white flag and surrender. I know that you're tempted to call BS right now, but don't, right? And I'll actually give you the warning that seriously, some of the pieces of the quotes you might not understand, but I want you to fight through it and do your best to kind of understand at least what is a part of the quote saying. There's a couple quotes on this packet that half of the quote is very confusing, but you can tell by the first half of the quote maybe kind of the point they're making. If you look at the big question here, and I keep reaching forward, I've got my computer sitting here and my iPad. It's giving you, it's saying here's this historical background, and you understand the historical background. You get Greece done, not a problem. You guys are pros. And then the question is, use the following documents, analyze the relationship between the Athenians and their democracy during its golden age. Identify an additional document, briefly explain. Don't worry about the additional document. But here's what it's saying. Anytime you see a DBQ, like I said, it's basically what it's wanting to do is it's going to ask a general question, and then it's going to show you some documents, and it's going to see, can you read through each of those documents, see the point that it's making, that the documents are making, and then use those to construct a good answer. Cite those documents, use those for support, etc. And all the meanwhile, you really are meant to draw upon kind of broader knowledge that you have of the topic. In this case, you do know a lot about Greece. So I give you a huge hint right here, which is why this video is good. Think about the question that's asking. It's asking about the Greeks and their relationship, the Athenians and their relationship between themselves and their democracy. I'm going to give you a huge hint right now. The answer to this question and what you're going to see in these docs is a yo-yo, for good reason, right? What you're going to see is, if you think about the history, democracy was first created. It was like revolutionary. It was awesome, right? Rich and poor citizens on the same playing field. This is great. You're going to see things going awesome in democracy during the golden age under Pericles. You're going to see Pericles as the linchpin. As kind of direct democracy at its best. But then if you notice some of the dates, you may want to jot these dates down at the top of your page right now. But the Peloponnesian War started in 431 and ended in 404 BC. So if you have those down, take note of the dates, because if you're going to notice some authors who write during or after the Peloponnesian War who are really not a fan of direct democracy. Why would they not be a fan of direct democracy during or after the Peloponnesian War? And the answer is, well, because they're seeing it collapse. They're seeing it fall apart. They're seeing the downside of it. But on the flip side, you're going to see some people after the Peloponnesian War in these documents who praise democracy, and they still rip on one-man rule. You're going to see one document pitch the idea of one-man rule being awesome, but it's meant to be kind of a philosopher king, like Mike said. It works great if he's one guy. You're going to see another document say, yes, it would work great if one guy was awesome, but the problem is guys aren't awesome, so we need a democracy. And so all that to say, these documents are going to go back and forth, competing views against democracy. So your goal is to detect with each document. There's not, like in last classes, DBQ, each document had questions after it. This one doesn't. It's actually from an AP history exam, which is like a college level class. And so you're smarter than you think you are. Um, so this one doesn't have those, but with each one, you're going to read through, follow the directions on the back that I wrote down. You're basically going to jot down a couple notes for each one, answer any questions, define any words that I told you to define, or answer any questions. And then instead of writing an essay, I want you to basically make a big outline, a little bit more formal than your outline from the first day, but I want you to literally be able to stack up the facts of the argument for democracy and stack up the facts for the argument against democracy. That's going to be kind of the final product. We'll obviously all talk about this in our next class together. Again, I hate that I can't be there, but we would be doing this if I was in class too. So these videos are just me explaining this and kind of teeing you up. Again, it's considered a skill building day, and I love that we get to do this. So I know they're not fun. I know you probably don't like them, but you're getting better as a result of it, right? And you're smarter than you think you are, so keep digging. Just to clarify, whatever you don't finish in class today is due for homework on your next class. And so please do finish that outline for homework if you don't get to finish it, etc. And email me if you have any questions. If have the sub call me. I will gladly answer any questions or whatnot. I don't want you to be confused. But just a heads up, you're going to read these questions or these documents, and a few of them will be like, what? Like even the first one right off the bat. I'll just give you a hint right now. I go and tell you right now, just so that you don't start confused. The hint right now is that you look at that first one, it's a vase. And what are they doing? The question is asking about Athenian democracy. And you look at two guys look like they're doing something to a bucket, and that's a vote. They're voting. And those guys look like they're a little bit different. One might be a soldier or maybe a little richer. One might be a little bit more normal. So it could, one interpretation, it could be depicting a rich guy and a poor guy both voting. So I'll just go ahead and tell you that, right? And so the fact that it's in a, on a Greek vase means they're celebrating that, right? So I just want you to start off confused. So again, read through these. Each one is going to make a statement about democracy. And the question is, analyze the relationship between the Athenians and their democracy. And the answer is it's going to yo-yo back and forth. And you know before you read these documents why that's the case, because it was cool. It was an awesome solution to the tyrant system. It was really cool for a while, and then it completely fell apart, and it was terrible. And so it makes sense why people would bash it. So anyways, I'm done. Holler if you have any questions. Tough it out. You got this. I'm proud of y'all. Good luck, and we'll talk about it next class. Peace.